Hello world, this is my first video of this type. It's scripted, so yay. Far Cry 2 is what I call the Daggerfall of the Far Cry series. You see, Daggerfall was a very ambitious game which added a lot to the Elder Scrolls series. Far Cry 2 itself added a lot to the Far Cry series. Everything you see in the newer games is thanks to Far Cry 2. Far Cry 1 is a non-linear game featuring multiple ways to get to your objective while graphically looking good. Far Cry 2 is a non-linear game featuring multiple ways to get your objective done while graphically looking good, featuring gun shops, diamonds in cases, cell phone towers, an open world experience, combat surgery, syringes, and much, much more. Most of the stuff that Far Cry 3 and Far Cry 4 has originates from Far Cry 2. Far Cry 2, once again, features the most realistic scenarios out of the Far Cry series ever made. It takes place in some African country during a period of civil disorder. The warring factions are the UFLL, or the United Front for Liberation and Labor, the APR, or Alliance for Public Resistance, are also a faction. Everyone is a mercenary in the game. The bad guys, your friends, and even you. Another thing about realism, you never need to go into any of the game's menus to save or look at the map. You see, the map can be viewed in real time. Isn't that cool? You press the map button, your character takes out a map and a GPS in one hand. Well, two hands, but map in one and GPS in the other. Isn't that cool? There is no GPS duct taped to the bottom left corner of your screen. Your health is in the bottom left corner of the screen. When not in combat, your health bar, ammo bar, grenade bar, they are invisible for added immersiveness. All you need now is an Oculus Rift and you're playing Congo War Simulator 2009. The mercenaries in the game apparently aren't very skilled at maintaining their weapons. When you kill an enemy or pick up a gun from the ground, the gun or weapon is very dirty and rusty. For example, if you pick up an M1903 rifle, it is rather dirty and rusted and worn. It still shoots people, still does the job, but it's prone to jamming. It's ineffective, you see. The gun's condition is so bad, the gun explodes in your hands, whether it be an Uzi or an RPG. This game, you're forced to go and think. Now, before going into combat, you have to be prepared. Is my syringe kit full? How's my ammo? Where's the ammo? Health, explosive, gas crates in this outpost. Where are the enemies in accordance to my objective? Let me look for them. You see, you take out your little monocle and look for the caches, enemy locations, and ambush points. This is why I tell you, you have to think. You go down unprepared, you're unfortunately screwed. So, you go down the hill and start shooting everyone. If someone hears a gun shot in this game, they don't yell, fuck me, from Far Cry 3, but actually speak to each other, whether it be in some African language or English. If your engine is smoking, then it's time to repair it. Repairing vehicles can be achieved in this game by going to the engine and twisting the magic bolt or something. You'll be doing this a lot in the game, and depending on how dark the smoke is, you'll be repairing your vehicle a lot. Getting a car manual from the gun store is recommended to achieve quicker repair speeds. Gun stores in this game are a necessity. Weapons you buy from the gun store rarely jam, possibly never. But I did have a gun explode in my hands though. Gun stores also sell equipment. All that equipment you spent hours grinding in Far Cry 3 and 4 can be bought in the game using the agreed upon currency throughout the game called diamonds. Guns can be bought, and gun manuals can be bought also to improve reliability or accuracy. Equipment can be bought to improve stealth, ammunition capacity, grenade and Molotov cocktail storage, and first aid kits for syringe storage in case, you get shot in the arm and don't want to die. To get new weapons, you speak to the gun dealer. The gun dealer gives you a mission to blow up a weapons convoy. These are called convoy missions. Upon completion, the player will be rewarded weapon unlocks. The player can buy all the items mentioned using an old personal computer. Once again, no out-of-character menu to buy guns like in the latter games. Now, since we're on the topic of missions, we're going to go through all of them. Side missions can be given to the player by going to certain areas of the world. Now, assassination missions. There are what I call hitman missions. You activate them from cell towers. The player supposedly hacks into cell towers by turning some switches here and there and gets a phone call by a person using a voice changer. The masked man on the other side of the line requests the player to kill another person located at a certain location. The location varies. Sometimes the target is alone, guarded by a convoy, at a ceasefire area, or is guarded at a factory or something. Immediately upon killing the target, the player gets a certain amount of rough diamonds. These can be done in conjunction with the convoy missions. Now, personal buddy missions consist of the player visiting a bar and talking to the buddy. The buddy requests the player to do something to them. They are completely optional, but increase buddy reputation, aka history, as referred to inside the game. Now, onto the missions you really need to do. Underground missions are assigned to the player from the local priest or doctor. The purpose of these mission types is to get refugees out of the country. You'll be required to give the refugees a passport or multiple passports. In exchange for the passport, they will give you malaria pills. These pills are extremely crucial to your survival. They are not optional. You must do these missions. Now, faction missions. Pretty obvious. Missions given by the factions. They give the player money. In the beginning, I got 15 diamonds a mission. You listen to a couple of people. They include the faction leaders. So the missions include you blowing things up, killing someone or something. I enjoy them. I enjoy the game. They're not linear, since you could talk to your friends. Now, onto the side mission of the faction missions. Buddy side missions. I greatly recommend you listen to your buddies instead of completing the faction missions by the book. For example, after receiving information about a mission, your best buddy will call you to your cellular device. They will tell you to meet them at a safe house. Once at a safe house, they will tell you a plan they've mustered up. They will tell you to go to a place, then go to your faction mission objective. Then your buddy needs to fight someone and can die. And if he goes underground, you need to stab him with a syringe so he can live. If you do this enough times, you will progress through the game and become a badass. These missions result in reputation increase, higher buddy history, and a safe house upgrade. Now, the best for last, story missions. These missions are rather rare. For example, a story mission can include you rigging an explosive, or giving diamonds to guards. Your reward is game progression and or game credits. Now, onto some other topics. Combat surgery. In this game, combat surgery is freaking amazing. There are so much animations. While in Far Cry 3 there was only 11 or 12, in the fourth game there was 14 or 15, and Primal had like 16 or 17. You never really get truly tired of watching your fictional self pull a long wire out of your knee very slowly. If a bullet wound hit your arm, your character lights a match and applies it to the skin to stop bleeding. You can have a metal stick stuck in your gut, a piece of rebar that is, or a small wooden stick stuck in your leg. This stuff happens and you just don't get it nowadays in Far Cry games. Now, malaria. People for some reason always had a problem with Far Cry 2 and malaria. Malaria in Far Cry 2 isn't that big of a deal. People make it seem. You see, in the beginning of the game, you are bit with a mosquito and contract malaria. Oh yeah, spoiler alert. Eventually, you get pills to recover. But being a grown mercenary, being sick can't stop you from doing your job, since you don't take sick days. Every so often, the sides of your screen go yellow with darker yellow spots on them. This means you must take malaria shots. It can happen when you're driving, walking, shooting, or actually getting shot at. You're not necessarily supposed to take them on the spot either. You can wait a couple seconds, shoot someone, head to cover, pop the pill, and you'll feel better. Now, mercenaries. The mercenary AI is not the best, but it just works. To quote a certain game developer. Unlike the mercenaries in Far Cry 3, Far Cry 4, and Far Cry Primals, these mercenaries have dialogue when they aren't in combat and when in combat. A lot of dialogue. For instance, once I heard a mercenary talking to another about an AK that he wanted from an armory, but couldn't get it at Paula. It just makes the game feel more alive. If you're on foot and the enemy is on a car, be it with a mountain turret or not, they will try and run you over. Which is logical. Also, the main complaint people have is that when the merc outposts are wiped out, when you're done with them, eventually mercenaries will seem to respawn and be back. There possibly is a roleplay reason for that. You see, the in-game factions are always fighting for land. You have cars driving around with mercenaries at all times around the map. When you wipe out a camp, another faction can take control over it. See, it makes sense. Now, my own final words. This is off script. Buddies. Your buddies are very useful, and I do not emphasize that enough. They can literally save you from dying. Say you get outgunned and shot in the face. Your buddy will appear. They will come over your person, shoot in the general direction, and kill an enemy. They'll pick you up and save you. While carrying you, they are shooting people left and right, bang, bang, peef, poff. They care for you, and likewise, you have to care for them. Your buddy can and will get shot and down. They will light a blue flare and wait for your arrival. You can go help them or not, it's your choice. If you abandon your buddy and left him or her for dead, you're an asshole. But if you helped them, two things can happen. You can stab a syringe in their shoulder, they'll get up and live happily ever after until they get down next time around. Or if you stab too much syringes because they didn't get any better and things have taken for a worse, they can die in your arms. It's honestly very tragic. Let me tell you this. The first time I died, my buddy died, not me, I cried. I really did. And this shows that they've done it right. Because you bond with your buddies, believe it or not. Okay, so all in all, this is what I have to say about Far Cry 2. It's been a long game. It is a long game. And it is longer than Far Cry 3/4 and has a bigger map world. If you do not have it, I recommend you to get it. If you did not play it, but you have it in your Steam, I recommend you to install it and play it. Now, thank you highly for sitting through my rant. Would you call it a rant? I don't know. But this was scripted. Let me get that through. My first scripted video. So, have a good day or night or whatever, and please check out my other videos. Also, if you're not certain someone disliking all my videos, cool, do what you do. But, do you truly dislike them or not? I really want to hear your opinion and what I can do to change your opinion. Now, thanks everyone, and remember to fare thee well. We ain't got no top hat, ain't got no white tie to tie, we ain't got no tent. Why shouldn't we be dutting up our shirt fronts, putting in our shirt studs, like that guy from West?
Look out, fellas, here he comes. I'm stepping out, Madame, into an atmosphere that positively reeks with class.
Well, I'd say my word.
And I trust that you'll excuse my dust when I step on the gas.
Stout fella.
We'll be there. We're gonna get our top hat. We're gonna get our white tie to tie. What's more, we'll be dancing round in our tails.